no excellence where there is equality. For every diversity higher, there is a diversity fire. It is not the similarities that make us the same. It is the differences that make us different. The truth is hate to those who hate the truth. Atonement cannot be made for a grievance never committed. There is no Western civilization without Western kind. In a world of collectivism, individualism is suicide. Hollywood isn't history. Hollywood isn't history. Isn't history. Isn't history. Isn't history. Isn't history.
And a very special, looks like the mic is right today. I want to make sure, a very special good evening to all of you. We have the cover up right now of a Crucible, which is available. Finally, the hard work is finished. All of the work that others has done, and Groundhog Fury. Just take a look, drink in the beauty of that cover, and you'll see if you once you purchase. Acquire the book, you'll see that on the interior there are many more fantastic illustrations inside. This is truly something remarkable. That, of course, by a feat of the magnificent Groundhog Fury. You might even see a special surprise right on the inside. Something right on the inside when you get started on the cover there. You'll see a special surprise, and you all will, I think you might enjoy that. But we'll see. The reason I want to get together with you all briefly here today, I have to run very shortly, but this is such a stupendous day. Another big stride forward. This is now, we're off to the sprint. This is the starting pistol. This book now being available means that we can now take the link on Amazon. I'm going to be posting the link in the description below as soon as I'm finished here. It's all that new. I've been rushing around, and I'll post the link and make it available. It's up on my Twitter. It's up on Facebook. It's up on VK. It's up all of these different places. And you can grab the link. You can immediately give a review to this. Remember, the review that you give, the number of stars that you give seems like a minor thing to you. But in the aggregate of everybody adding their review, their positive review, their stars to the review on Amazon, whatever country you might be in, adding your review increases the likelihood that it will be seen. The book will end up being seen by those of who have similar interests to our own. And it will also be, for a great many, the deciding factor on whether or not they are going to acquire the book, to find out more about what's happening with us, what happened in that story, and to be empowered with a significant portion of some of the most powerful of our meme curatives from Going Free. If that's all they ever get, it will be stupendous. It'll be a stupendous victory. But of course, it won't be all they get. When they read through this story, they'll read about a young man, a nonfiction tale about a young man standing up against the system. They are going to see themselves. They are going to be seeing themselves in that story. Every single one of you is going to be seeing yourself in that story, because this is the life in the childhood that we all were forced to live. And so seeing yourself, being able to identify with the characters, is something critical for a story, a tale, to then gain its credence and gain a foothold, to grow roots into the body politic, and therefore spread throughout it, word of mouth, if nothing else happens. But we are going to be doing everything we can to spread it. And part of helping to promulgate the awareness of this book and the story inside, and the ability of even a child to stand up against anti-whiteism. Stand up against these authorities. Stand up against the white erasure. The ability of a child to stand up against this and be victorious is going to inspire many heroes from our ranks all around planet Earth. This is a great moment and a great opportunity for Western Kind. It is the starting pistol, as I said, what we've been looking forward to doing in this march up to the election. It doesn't matter in the United States. It doesn't matter where you are. If you are a member of Western Kind, what happens here in the United States is of critical importance, because this is the superpower of the world. We need another 4 years of T-Rex, but even more important than that is we need all of those normal, ordinary white Americans, our brothers and sisters out there, the vagues that they are. We love them dearly. We need them to be empowered by this tale. And this is the story that will empower them. This is the story that will form that bridge from where they are as a patriotic American, a nationalist American, a First Amendment loving, Second Amendment loving, whatever it might be, libertarian, constitutionalist party, Republican, conservative, whatever the Tea Party, whatever they consider themselves. Hey, if you are in New Zealand, we were just talking to Hector from New Zealand. You are one of our brothers and sisters in New Zealand. Stand up right now. Get yourself the link for Crucible, Child Patriot, American Victory, and head on off into some of these American blogs. Head on off into some of these comment groups on Facebook in the States. Head on off into these places and say, have you seen this book? This is amazing. You could say that just since it's been, you know what it's about. I talk about it. So you have some idea what's going on in this book. You have some idea what it's all about. You think it's going to be a good read to those people. You think it's really going to inspire and excite them. Talk with the kind of language, talk in the kind of way that your mother, your grandmother would want to hear to find it acceptable. This is, let this be your church dress for the Sundays, whatever that. You don't have to be rich. You just have to be cleaned up. We need to be able to reach our people. And these are the millions that if we reach them, we change the world. That is the difference. We don't need a new politician, ladies and gentlemen. Voting isn't going to get us there. Violence isn't going to get us there. We need to remake our population. We need to remake the white man and white woman. And this has demonstrated itself. Going free, what we implement here, has demonstrated itself as the practice that does that. We've been working on this, applying putting it through the crucible of the scientific method for decades now to distill something that is most potent for our people, and we continue to do so. Iteration 2, second edition, iteration 2 of Go Free is going to be available in the next couple of months. We continue to work on more endeavors, both before and behind the scenes. And this, I can tell you to keep your eyes open for some more amazing things happening that'll be coming to your attention out in the mainstream of the United States. Keep your eyes open for that. I can't say more because these things are real, but the stories will be told once we recapture our destiny. But what we can do, what you must do now, you are a player in this story. This is when heroes are made. We need to continue the celebration that started all the way back when President Donald Trump mentioned to Catherine Herridge that the absolutely verboten, the prohibited group of people to mention in any way other than as the bad guys, and that was white people. He said the celebration started then. We talked about, I won't go back over that again, about coming up to that and preparing everybody for that. And then the celebration started then, and then taken by surprise, as Donald Trump is wont to do, a retweet of the concept anti-white. We popped champagne then. We'll be coming back on Sunday at least to pop some more champagne for Crucible being available and the work that we can all do. This is your opportunity. You have to take up the baton. We are all doing our part. That's the difference here. There are no billionaires here. There aren't even millionaires here stepping up to do what the normal folks, the grassroots, the real deal at the very bottom have to do. You're not buying from me an excuse to sit on your ass as you do from people like John Mark. You're not buying an excuse to sit on your ass as you do from some new political party that's somehow going to magically do it for you somehow, some way. You have to do it yourself. You have to spread the practice. And we've needed for a very long time a means by which to take this message of going free to all of our ordinary brothers and sisters out there by the tens of millions in all of our hundreds of millions in all of our countries, but in particular for me in the United States, to reach out to them so that they can begin to speak with the same voice and with the same tongue that we speak. Even if the languages are the same different around the world, we will be speaking with the same tongue when we speak going free, when we speak white positive, when we speak white well-being. And we have demonstrated that, not a guess, not a speculation, not a we hope so, not an argument, not a slick plastic scientific act that somebody can give you, which is an absolute perfection of what the hollow plastic West has become as a consequence of anti-whiteism. This is the life and blood. There are capillaries inside what we are doing here. There are sinew inside what we are doing here. A huge amount of effort is being made. You need to add your voice and your effort to this. Now, the text will also be available as quickly as I can on Kindle. I've got a great many things to do. I'm going to be here with you all shortly. I'm going to see what you all are saying, and then we're going to jump off here. But we're available on all of the normal channels, I think, if everything's working okay. And so if you all have any questions or comments or suggestions, make them now, because I got to roll. I got another thing to get to. We'll be getting it out on Kindle as soon as possible so that you can get Kindle versions around the world as well. But make sure you don't have to have, as far as I understand on Amazon, a verified purchase. It'll say if you've already purchased it that it's a verified purchase with your statement underneath of it and or just the number of stars that you give it. Remember, when you put a review there, you know this story. You may have already read it a little bit differently in Born Guilty. We've talked about all of this. You know what's in this book. You can speak to it when you give it the review, when you give it the stars that you're going to give it. Remember, who are you talking to? You're talking to the ordinary brothers and sisters, white brothers and sisters out there, the vagues out there that need to hear this is okay to read. This is okay for you. This is not anybody playing the villain. There's nothing to this whatsoever that is going to scare you. You don't say something like that exactly. You're speaking in a language that they understand, that will speak to their heart. Why is that? Not because we are something other, and this is we were talking about this past Sunday, because we're something other and we're trying to just optically give a different impression. No, because we want to speak as clearly to our brothers and sisters exactly what we truly are, because we know the anti-whites have misrepresented us for the totality of all of our lives. And so that is what our brothers and sisters are going to be looking for. We want to make sure that they see who and what we truly are, that they acquire this text. They see it now. I'm going to tell you, they're going to be hungry for American victories. After everything going on in the United States over the past few months, they're going to be hungry for victories. They're going to be hungry for victories because of COVID-19. They're going to be hungry for victories because of the destruction of Western civilization. They're going to be hungry for the victories because right now it's ramping up in Louisville to set off tonight. It's ramping up in Washington, D.C. to potentially set off tonight again. More of the destruction of Western civilization. This is white America by the tens of millions that are ready for this message. I'll see what you have to say, folks. This is the sprint. This is the 100-meter dash. You don't have to do this for the next 10 years. You don't have to do this for the next 20. You don't even have to do it for the next 5. You have to do this from now until maybe sometime after the election, but certainly before the election, which is the very beginning of November. You've got to roll. It's the 23rd right now on the East Coast of the United States in the once great state of Virginia, outside Washington, D.C., which might be set on fire tonight, where an orange man lives in a White House, and he's doing everything he can to get reelected and to appoint a justice and to confirm that justice, to nominate and confirm that justice before that election so that he can win that election. We have to serve the role that we can in that process. And more importantly, we have to make sure that all of these brothers and sisters who are normally busy with their NASCAR, with their sports, with their fishing, with their astronomy, with their physics, with everything that they do, with their work on the plumbing, with their engineer work, with their lawyer work, with everything that they do. They're normally busy with all of this, busy with their vacation, their one vacation, or maybe a vacation and a half a year, or even no vacations that were paid, like my father and my family of origin had. They're busy with their lives. They're busy dealing with their diseases. They're busy with dealing with their sickness. They're busy with dealing with the pandemic. They're busy dealing with relatives that are contentious, irascible, pugnacious. They're busy dealing with all of this in their life. Right now, though, they are focused on an election. Right now, they're focused on this country. Right now, they're focused on their patriotism. Right now, we can get their eyeballs. We can get their attention. Again, it doesn't matter whether you're in Canada or New Zealand or Australia or Sweden or Italy. It doesn't matter right now if you are a Westman or you are a non-white person who supports white well-being, wherever you are on planet Earth. The time is now to get involved, to make sure you spread this text, a Crucible, Child Patriot, American Victory, to as many of the patriotic, nationalist, First Amendment, Second Amendment, constitutionalist, whatever group you think might be amenable to this sort of message. Now is the time to get this in front of them. Now is the time to write the review that will sell them on this message. They'll pick this up as they read. They'll be empowered by the stance that I take. They'll be empowered. They'll see themselves in that story, that personal connection. How valuable do you think that personal connection is? This is not fiction. This is a non-fiction book. This is a true story about an American junior high school and a child who stood up against anti-whiteism there, and everything that the anti-whites tried to do to crush that young man and that patriotic message, that message of love and hope and redemption for his people, our people, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the time. It is a sprint. The starting pistol has sounded. You have between now, September 23rd, and on the other side of the planet, the 24th. Now you got to get started all the way up to November 2nd, and we'll see maybe some after that. But certainly, day after day, you need to be getting into this groups, Facebook groups, VK groups, Parler groups, Twitter groups, Gab groups, wherever you can get. You need to be spreading this message. You need to be leaving the reviews. You need to be talking about it on blogs. You need to be talking about it on videos. You need to be asking content creators to mention Crucible. You need to be telling content creators that you may have contact with, big and small, but really we're looking for those who are in the places like the conservative MAGA sphere. If you can get to them, you have conversations with them, tell them to reach out to yours truly. Tell them you'll hook them up with yours truly. Tell them that I'm willing to do what it takes to get them to put this book up on their channel, to do an episode on it, to talk about it, maybe to talk with me personally. We will make it worth their while. We will make it worth their while. Make sure these big content creators of really any size, but especially the largest ones in the conservative, in the MAGA sphere, in the First Amendment, in the Second Amendment, in the border groups, in the constitutionalist groups, in the libertarian groups, make sure they know their communities are going to be amenable to this. Their communities are going to see themselves in this. Their communities are going to see the persecution that anti-whiteism inflicts on all things that are heretical to anti-whiteism. They need this message. And a great percentage of the individuals who end up picking up this story and reading through it and identifying with it and coming to grips with what's truly taking place in the world, they will realize that there is more here. They will see the talk of Go Free in this text. They will then look deeper, and a great percentage of those will end up coming all of the way to going free, taking up the practice of going free, and we can take this then to the stratosphere. There is no time to waste. There is no tomorrow. There's no politician going to do it for you. There is no big donor going to do it for you. There is nobody who's paid that's going to do it for you. You're not going to be able to just watch this happen and feel good about it happening. You have to participate in some way, even small. Make it happen. We're going to be putting up leaflets soon on my website, nowhiteguilt.org. nowhiteguilt.org. You'll be able to use these. You'll be able to download these. We will make them available for you. You will only distribute them in legal places. If they're found elsewhere, then that's because anti-whites are downloading these images and then trying to get us in trouble. You will be doing it in legal places. If it's leafleting you'll do leafleting. If it's getting into blogs, you'll do blogs. If it's making podcasts, you'll make podcasts. If you're listening now and you have a big blog or a big a podcast or a big YouTube channel that you have, you've been reluctant all along to talk about the anti-whites, talk about anti-whiteism, talk about going free. Now is the time to get over whatever your personal issue is and talk about Crucible, Child Patriot, American Victory in a positive light, because this is your story. If you care about Western kind, this is your story. If you care about the nation that you live in, that Western nation that you live in, this is your story. If you care about the white children who are being persecuted and subjected to the blackest child abuse the world has ever seen, this is going to really be the litmus test. Who doesn't talk about Crucible, Child Patriot, American Victory? Who doesn't talk about it? Because we're going to see those who don't talk about it are the ones who put their ego ahead of the well-being of our people. There has never been a text like this that will touch the hearts, that will connect personally with every single one of these right of center when they're living inside the spectrum groups. Never has been a book like this that will connect with them in a personal way, that will motivate them to see the world in a new light outside of the anti-white narrative, the persecution, the abuse, the exploitation of a child of 11, 12, and 13 years of age. It will be meaningful to Christians. It will be meaningful to atheists. It will be meaningful to people who support different types of economic strategy. It will be meaningful to people who support different types and different stripes of political strategies. This will be the litmus test. If you are one of these content producers and you've been reluctant, you're holding on so long that you've been holding your breath, your head is blue. Now is the time to get over it. Now is the time to talk about Crucible. Now is the time to help us. Now is the time to help us get Crucible out to the many tens and scores of millions of white Americans. You know who you are. You know who you are. You know the kind of impact you can have with the reach that you have had, with the work that you have done. Nothing in this is going to contradict you. You're still going to be that great content producer that you've been. You're still going to be that voice that you've been. Nobody is going to stop following you that were following you before. You are not going to suddenly end up in the heap of history. You will continue to be whoever you are. Now is the time to help us. You make those slick videos. You got that great voiceover. You've got that great tone of voice. You've got that great script that you write, and you got that great delivery. You better put it to use to help us reach these tens of millions, because there'll never be another opportunity where their eyes are going to be more open and they're going to be more willing to look at a message that that speaks to the nationalism, the patriotism, the actual essence, the culture of what is America, which is implicitly white for all of these people. They know damn well and good when they get out there and they say, well, I support the Second Amendment, I support the First Amendment. They know damn well and good that it is white, that it is Western, and that without these people, without these traditions, without these norms, without these mores, it will all go down the toilet. You will never have an opportunity when they will be more likely to listen to your message, when they will be more likely to listen. So if anything, if you are one of these big content producers who are in the white positive sphere, either directly inside, close to us, or a little further out and more of a conservative or nationalist or MAGA message, or maybe you're one of these older people who speak to older crowds, or you speculate, when you hear this, and you're going to hear this message I'm sharing today, because people that are watching this message are going to clip this out, or it's going to be short enough, they're going to be able to share this video with you, and then you're going to see probably a dozen or more of the people seeing this are going to be able to share it with you. And then you're going to see that you can talk about this, and maybe you will double your subscriber count. Maybe you have 100,000 subscribers. Maybe you have 500,000 subscribers. Maybe you'll double it, because of people who otherwise would not have listened to you will be willing to say, hey, what is this about this Crucible book? What happened to this 11, 12-year, 13-year-old kid? What is this victory that was had inside the crucible of a junior high school in the United States? This is the litmus test. It is never you have a person in the desert who is in need of water. Never are there scores of millions in the United States of white Americans this in need of water in the desert. Never will they be willing at any other point to listen and to heed what you have to say. Then right now, a message like this, a message that isn't going to turn them off, a message that will serve as the bridge to bring them from where they are in this gullible, benighted, and some of them blindsided state over to out of the anti-white narrative into a story where they are the hero, into a place where they have the moral high ground. What kind of a bastard would you be to not then provide this to those masses? What kind of a bastard would you be? Even if you are in some tiny country in Eastern Europe and doing this for America, you realize will change not only the United States, but by changing the white population in the United States will change the world for Western kind. You in that tiny country in Eastern Europe, it is your opportunity to stand up and be a hero of the ages. It is your opportunity whether you are just getting started or whether you can just deliver leaflets or whether you can just talk to all of your family members or whether you have that YouTube channel or you have that BitChute or DLive channel. For Christ's sake, there is no excuse at this point to stand in the way of a message that will speak personally to these scores of millions in this, the 11th hour, potentially, of our fight, of our struggle for white well-being. So I'm going to see what you all have to say. And as usual, if anybody financially gifted, we'll absolutely get to those. But we're going to cut this off as quickly as possible because I've got to get back to work. The starting pistol has fired. And I'll tell you what, when I played college football, when I played sports, I consistently ran a 4.4 40-yard dash. And you can look up right now to see what the pros run in the NFL, what the pros run in soccer, what the pros run in professional baseball, and you'll see that's the kind of speed we're going to run with this. We're going to make this happen. You're going to bring your talents. You're going to bring your best. You're going to do your best, and together as a team, which is the team that the sports that we have is the team that comes out of the tribes that we have made over the millennia. That is why we have team sports, is because we have been able to come together as a people, as a unit, and make things happen that are impossible for smaller groups and certainly smaller for individuals. Let me have a quick look at what you're saying, and we're going to get out of here. We've already been here for nearly 30 minutes. I can't say enough. Now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. Get this message out to our brothers and sisters. You know the communities you have to go to. All right, I'm going to swivel around right now and see what's happening over here. We have Angharad Celtic, Simon JJ, Art Acrobats, Bigot Small, Sterling Price, Coconut. Some of the best heroes are with us, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take a quick look. I gotta just quickly. I'm gonna put the book back on the screen. And Affected Area is with us. Twin Ravens says, "Preach it. Great to see you." Angharad Celtic. Can you deliver a personally signed copy? We will be able to deliver personally signed copies in probably another week. I will be putting the book up on No White Guilt Collectibles probably by the end of the night. You'll be able to acquire it there. And if you acquire it from there, probably by the end of the night or tomorrow, if you acquire it there, you will be able to get a personal signed copy. Otherwise, it is available from Amazon. Maybe within a week's time, it'll be available as a Kindle on Amazon as well. Give those reviews right away. Get out, and you know the story already. Give the reviews right away. You can buy it from Amazon. You can acquire it from me at nowhiteguiltcollectibles.com. Let's make sure to get this happening and make it fast. Let's see. Angharad Celtic. Damn, why am I married? Jason is what? White, I guess that's what's supposed to say. Let's see. Who else we have? We have Damon Scott. You're great to see you. Anglo America. DF, the great DF is here. Can you post the link? We absolutely can post the link for the book, and I will do so right now in the live chat. Please, everybody, share that. Use that link right now. That's the hyphenated link. You'll be able to get over there to Amazon.com. Waste no more time. Waste no more time. We have to stay up. We have to push. The starting pistol has sounded. What happens in a sprint, ladies and gentlemen? We were talking with Jody yesterday, and Mark was talking about the totality of this endeavor. The totality, of course, of service to white well-being is a service that is a long-distance run. It absolutely is a long-distance haul. And during that long-distance run, we have moments where it is an absolute sprint, where we have to make shit happen, and you just make it happen. No excuses. There's no excuse. I'm not going to accept any excuses from myself. I've never have. I'm not going to accept any excuses from you. Don't accept any excuses from yourself. You make it happen right now. If you have to open anonymous accounts right now, 5 of them to open and start doing this, then do it. 1 of them to open and do it, start doing it. There's no more excuses. When the starting pistol goes at the Olympics, what do the athletes do in the 100-meter, the 55-meter dash? What do they do? What do they do? And how is that contrasted with what they do when they start off on these long haul runs? Very big difference. They, in that 55-meter and that 100-meter dash, they are pumping their knees and their elbows, and they are scorching down that 100-meter track. That is how we have to be from right now, the 23rd or 24th, wherever you are on planet Earth, all the way up to the very first couple of days in November, maybe some after, we'll see. Certainly you have the stamina to do that. Let's see. The Raven says, hell yeah, way to go. No white guilt. Good to see all the work pay off, my friend. Thank you so very much for that. Jonash is here. Great to see you. Corey is here. Great to see you. Jesse, no offense, is here. Wonderful to see you, dear lady. Stuart is here. Promethean hails, brother, from the big Promethean hails to you, my dear brother. I have no doubt Stuart is going to be making it happen. I have no doubt Simon JJ is going to be making it happen. And I have no doubt that Jonash is going to be making it happen. Bartleby is going to be making it happen. And we got to give Bartleby another wrench. But we'll do that maybe next stream, brother. We have no doubt that these people are going to be making it happen. Lord Hendrickson going to be making it happen. No doubt that these great heroes are going to be out there and making a difference in the world. No doubt that Bonnie Blue Lass is going to be making a difference right now and going to be making it happen. Let me just take a quick look over here, and I'm going to be jumping off, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment. But this is to get you fired up. I am fired up. And this is those opportunities. A lot of these old timers, they say, well, when the flag goes up, when the balloon goes up, when the X, Y, or Z, and I know I can just act in a short burst of energy and I can make something happen. Now's that time. Now is that time. You are never going, if this is a sales scenario and you could sell, I see the great Carlisle Cockadoo is here. She's going to be making it happen. Great to see you, dear lady. Anglo-Saxon going to be making it happen, and Bigot Small is going to be making it happen. If this is a sales situation and you're selling bottled water, it's never going to be as valuable to anybody, any prospect in the world as right now that prospect who is in the desert. That's the equivalent of our scores of our brothers and sisters in the United States, worried about the culture, worried about the future of this country, worried about whether or not it's going to be a Western country, looking at the bills, the treaties, the resolutions, the acts that the Democrats are bringing forward. They are never going to be as worried. They are never going to be as thirsty for a message that they can imbibe. They are not going to imbibe ever a swastika. So if you're waiting out for that, it'll never get that bad. Look at what's happening in South Africa. Look at what happened in Rhodesia. Look at what happened in St. Domingo. They are never going to be bad off enough to want to partake in something stupid like that. They are going to be willing to imbibe this bottle of the purest mountain spring water, a true story that they can connect with personally, that was their life, that will be the arguments that they had, that will be the moments with parents and administrators and teachers at the schools that they experienced, that will be the moments of persecution and the moments of pressure and the moments of losing your best friends and the moments of being of having to leave communities. They will have all suffered from this in their lives. They will personally identify with this. They will buy this pure spring water if you are merely there for them to see it. No more wasting time. No more excuses. No more something better is coming along. Nothing better is coming. This is the time to move. This is the time, and no more excuses. Lord Groiper is here writing, hail. Great to see you. Damon Scott, will I be able to obtain an autographed copy as well? Asking, yes, you will. Within probably, it'll be available. It'll be up on NoWhiteGuiltCollectibles.com by tonight. Tomorrow, we'll see. I'm very busy. I've got to travel. I've got a bunch of things to do for White Wellbeing. I'll get it up there as quickly as possible. And then based on the amount of time it takes for me to get the product from the source, then that to you. So it might be a week. It might be 2 weeks before you can get a signed copy. It might be a week before you can get at least a week, I would think, before you can have a Kindle version, maybe a little bit shorter, depends on how much time I have to do so. But you will be able to acquire this. But don't wait. Don't wait to have the book in your possession, either digitally or physically in your possession, to write that review. Don't hesitate to get out into the blogs and say that it's available. You have the description of it on Amazon. You can share what we talk about here. You can share clips out of this. You can make clips out of this. Don't wait to have the book arrive. In some places of the world, you buy it from Amazon, it's going to take like 3 weeks for it to get there. In some places of the world, you acquire it from No White Guilt Collectibles, and it's also going to take a couple weeks, probably more, because I have to acquire the product before I can even ship it out. Of course, places like New Zealand and the like, Australia, you've got to get started now. You've got to make a commitment to yourself. How many of these different groups of people am I going to be able to get to in the next 30 plus days? How many am I going to be able to get to in this time frame? And you better be saying it's going to be the most you've ever done if you want to make a difference for white well-being on planet Earth. We need numbers. We need a new people. And that new people out of this deracinated race will be what delivers our destiny to us in bigger and newer ways. It'll create contextual shifts for us. Forget about everything else. Forget about it. You've got to push hard right now with this. We're going to have a sharp eye for those who decide that they're going to put their egos ahead of the work that we're doing here, that has been demonstrated how efficacious it is for year after year after year after year. And now everyone has a text that everyone in all of these different circles, whether it be guns rights or borders or any of these sorts, they're maybe not the leaders of these groups, because they're going to have their egos in front of them as well. But their followers certainly are going to be able to identify, and many of those that identify will pursue into going free. At a bare minimum, they will be empowered with some of the most powerful verbiage that is in Crucible that we use here in Going Free, and they will be empowered by the moral position that they are given in that story that they have never had in their lives. See, DF says, can you post a link? I did that. TT Foley is here. Let's see. Anglo-Saxon Rum is here. Great to see you. I'm going to be jumping off here in just a moment. Oh, can you deliver can I deliver it personally? I don't know about that. It depends. It depends on how far I have to go. Let's see. What else do we have here? Bartleby, great to see you. Jester is here. Caesar is here. Great to see you all. Alleluia is here. Lord Henderson says, you'd look better with that pink salmon tie. It does look great with this shirt. You're right. Brad Pitt himself is here. We must support Jason and make this job easier. This is all of us. This is for all. It's your life. It is your life. It is the lives of your children. It is the lives of those you cared about and care about. It is the lives of those to come. It is our countries as we know and love them. Even if you can't understand how the satellite stays in orbit, even if it doesn't make perfect sense to you, how the changing of the verbiage makes all of the difference in the world, the changing of the perspective, the changing of the paradigm, even if you don't get how it makes all the difference in the world, you can see the outcomes that we have. You can see the successes. You can see that the satellite stays up there and continues to orbit. Take this knowledge and get out there and save your lives. Take this knowledge and get out into the world and save your lives. I see a financial gift over here on Cash App. Thank you so very much. From, what is this? Mr. Park. I think $10. Thank you so very much. I don't want to say I don't know if you want to be known by that name or not publicly, so I'll just call you Mr. Park. You know who you are. Thank you so very much for that kind financial gift of $10 to the work we're doing. We're going to need it because we're going to be pushing. We are going to be pushing like the devil is just inches from our back, because guess what? Hand outstretched, the devil chasing you down the lane, and you are running for nirvana. You are running for nirvana, and the devil's hand is within 2 inches of your back, 2 inches of your hair. You better pick up the pace, because that devil is there. That devil is called anti-whiteism. And now that those gates to nirvana are open to you, those gates to a contextual shift in everything that we have to deal with in the world, that is within limits. Don't make a mistake about what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying that when people read this book, all of a sudden we recapture our destiny. I'm saying this will be the perceptual shift that will give us a brand new context in which to operate, where there will be new opportunities that we have never had. new opportunities that we will be able to gain access to, we will take advantage of, we will put to our use, and we will go from where we are today to someplace much better tomorrow. There won't come this opportunity any other way. And anybody saying otherwise is a lying piece of shit to you. I'm tired of dealing with midwits and midget wits and these ego-driven bastards out there. Sorry for my French. The reality is we cannot deal. We cannot wait. We cannot hear anybody else's excuses. We cannot hear anybody else's explanations. We cannot go back right now in this dire of all moments, 11 hour, to wait to buy somebody's excuses so that we can buy an excuse from somebody so that we can sit on our asses a little longer. We have to be inflamed with the spirit of the West. I can feel it throughout my totality. And I know that many of you can as well. Communicate that spirit of the West to all of our brothers and sisters as rapidly as you possibly can. Lord Hendrickson says, we are in an unironical spiritual war for the welfare of our children. Jason, No White Guilt is spreading truth and love to our global community. Amen to that. Very well said. No time to waste, ladies and gentlemen. Slots is here, the great hero. You know this hero is going to be not only answering to the silver trumpets of the spirit of the West that we talk about in Prometheus Rising, he's going to be one of the people playing that music. Sloth says, send you a list of Twitter accounts collected by Euphemia, Singe, Promethean Promulgation, and HB 2014, and myself on Twitter. Is that on DM, brother? I will look for that, and we will reach out to those people. Absolutely. The orange says, No White Guilt, keep the flag up, brother. We're going to keep that flag up because you should put your national flags up where you are, because the United States, even if you're born and lived your whole life in some little hamlet in the UK, the United States is inside of your breast. It's part of your biospirit. It exists wherever our people exist. Same with UK, wherever we are. A country, a culture comes out of a biospirit. This is part of who you are. We need to make this happen for the United States to make it happen for the world. Western Pride Worldwide says, God bless Jason. Let me see what else is. And looks like over here on Cash App. What time is it? Shh, I got to go. We have JJ over here on Cash App, financially gifting $3. Thank you, my dear brother. $3 in service to white well-being and writing here with those wonderful dollars, fighting the good fight. Amen to that. Amen to that. How many now are going to make the commitment, ladies and gentlemen? How many now are going to make the commitment? Make it now. State so in the live chat. State so in the thread after we wrap this stream up on the No White Guilt channel, because it goes away on the other channel. That's not mine. How many are going to stand up and say, I am going to make a change? How many are going to stand up and say, right in the live chat, right in the thread afterward, so that everyone seeing the video will see, I'm putting my name down as somebody who's going to make a change for the future for Western kind. I am putting myself out there as somebody who, for love and redemption, is going to help recapture our destiny with a book that is going to connect emotionally, personally, with the actual lived experiences of our brothers and sisters all around the world, but certainly here in the United States right now, when, as this election approaches, we are all looking to how we can recapture this destiny, to how we can, however they want to phrase it, with covering it up in all the ways that they can, saying, oh, it's just about Second Amendment, or it's just about First Amendment, or it's just about borders, or it's just about culture, it's just about language. You know damn well and good what they're meaning when they say that. They don't want the eradication. They don't want the white erasure of our population. They don't want to see our history white erased. They don't want to see their homes set afire like the anti-whites of all races are doing, setting up right now in Louisville and other cities across the country. They are ready to hear their own stories. And ladies and gentlemen, their own story is in Crucible, Child Patriot American Victory. Let them read their own story in a nonfiction book, and they will come to us. You put up some villainy signaling, they're never going to listen. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. They're never going to listen. You promise them some invisible army. You promise them some sort of impossible civil war. You promise them all of this nonsense. It's never going to happen. They're never going to heed it. These are not the people that are going to be motivated to do a damn thing who will answer those sorts of messages. We need to reach these people with their story, which is written in Crucible. Sloths writes here, $2 financial gift. Thank you so very much, my brother, coming in on Cash App. I sent you a list on Twitter account DM. All right, brother, I'll get to that. We're coming right up on 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The sun is going down a little earlier in the Northern Hemisphere as our seasons are changing. We've moved into autumn, and the temperatures are getting cooler. It's getting a little darker earlier. Sun's a little lower in the sky, and fires are already being lit in the United States. And men and women, but particularly our women across the United States, are wondering, what are we going to do? They're turning to their husbands. They're turning to their elected officials. They're turning to their church leaders. They're asking, what are we going to do? And nobody has an answer. Everybody has the same shop-worn nonsense that's failed before. And these women and these men and these aggrieved masses and these vulnerable people in our communities, they recognize these failed so-called solutions. They recognize these failed plans, and they know it's not going to be enough. All we need now is to get in front of them with the story of their life, which is written in Crucible, ladies and gentlemen. They can find that story there in that book. Make sure to get it to them. My biggest love to every single one of you and the work that you all are going to be doing. I will be back if need be before Sunday. We, of course, will be back on tap probably on Friday, but definitely on Sunday for a big celebration. We're going to be pushing this. I'm going to be tweeting about it, maybe putting up short videos. I'm going to be putting out a video very shortly about the victory that we just recently had with Donald Trump retweeting anti-white. We're going to be putting the link for this book in that description. Make sure you share that video. It's only 8 or so minutes long. Share that, watch it, share it widely, share the news of this book, share the link. Get out there, get started now. Tell the world the story of their lives. If they're white, the story of their lives is written in Crucible. And in that story, they're the good guy. They are the protagonist. They're the moral one. And in the end, they have victory. I love every single one of you.